Good morning, it's Mrs. Giesbrecht. Unfortunately, there's a closure on the 15 South, so I am stuck in traffic. So a big thank you to the teacher who is covering my class this morning. We're gonna kick it off with, just like we always do, step one, you're gonna correct your homework. Make sure you're only using the green pens that are on your desk. And then step two, you'll start on the warm-up that's right here. So give yourselves about 10 minutes and then you'll move into the notes section that is on the next slide. So go ahead and pause this recording during those 10 minutes and then you can continue for the rest of the notes. Let's go ahead and jump into our notes time now. We're going to start on 4.1.2. So turn to your next free page of Cornell Notes and copy down your essential question, which is, where do you see a pattern's growth represented in the rule? At any time, if I'm going to quickly, feel free to pause the video while students finish copying down this stuff. I'm going to do one example with you and then I will show you where I want you to turn in your notebook. So today what we're going to work on is this example that I'm showing you. So we're going to do 4 things with it. Letter A, we're going to shade the new tiles on each figure, which is showing the growth. B, we're going to identify that growth factor. C, we'll create a table. And lastly, D, we will write the rule. Okay, so step number 1, we are going to shade the new tiles on each figure. So pause for a moment while you copy the figures into your graph paper on your notes. Okay, so when I look from figure 1 to figure 2, I am seeing that it went from being a square as the main body of the figure to being a rectangle. So these two were added. Then when I look from figure 2 to figure 3, these same two were added again. So if I ask you to find figure 1, if you think, how can you work your way backwards from figure 1 to figure 0, let me grab the pointer here. So if 2 were added, which ones would have been added from figure 0? Right, so 2, the same 2 would have been added to figure 1. So if we shade those in, you're able to see what figure 0 would look like. Figure 0 would just be the 2 tiles with the 1 off the side. All right, so we did part A, which was shading the growth. So if I ask you to identify the growth factor, that just means, how do you see your figure changing? How do you see your figure growing? And each time from one to the next, it's growing by 2. You're going to find that today is much easier than what we did on Tuesday and Wednesday because we are going back to linear equations rather than having an x times an x today. Part C says create a table, so we're going to do that. On the top goes our figure number. So most of your tables today are going to go from figure 0 to figure 4 when you get to the classwork with your partner in just a moment. And then what we talked about yesterday is that if our x value is the figure number, our y value is the tiles, total tiles. So figure 0 had 3, figure 1 had 5, 7, 9. Now, even though I didn't have you draw figure 4, hopefully you're seeing a pattern and you are able to add in what figure 4 would be, which would be 11. And then our final step asks us to write the rule. So that's going to be a y equals. And these are linear rules, so these are so much easier than yesterday. We don't have to shade the whole figure and write the different pieces of the puzzle. Today we're simply asking ourselves, how do you go from x and get the y? How do you go from x and get the y? So think about it for just a second. And our rule is x times 2 plus 3. So let's change that formatting so that my number is first. We'll say 2x plus 3. So this is what you and your partner are going to work on today, A, B, C, and D, for a couple different patterns, including the shading. So I'd like you to turn quite a few pages in your notebook. There's a resource page that has problem 12 and problem 15 all on the same page. So the page that you're looking for in your looks like this. This is the page that you need to go find. And after I go over directions, feel free to pause right here while students set up their resource page. So in your notebook, we're going to set our paper up so that it has these following items. On the left-hand side, I'd like you to write growth factor with a little line next to all 4 tile patterns. Then on the right, you're going to write table. So you're going to make a table for each one of those 4. And you're also going to write the rule for each one of those 4. Notice that it's already a graph piece of paper and it is ready for you guys to draw figure 0 and figure 4. So you're going to set yours up just like I did mine, where you're going to shade your tiles. What do you see changing? Where do you see that change? And then you'll fill in all of the blanks. So all 4 problems need to be finished by the end of the period with your partner. So good luck. Hopefully I am back shortly, and have a great rest of your day. Go ahead and pause here until the students have set up their paper. Thanks.